Jaymee Carnes Acton, women's basketball. In her first season in a North Georgia uniform, Acton made her name known as she was named the Daktronics Division II National Player of the Year, the first such honor for North Georgia in the NCAA era. A two-time All-American and All-Region honoree, she was the first UNG player to win Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year honors and still holds the career record for scoring average in a season at 25 points per game during her National Player of the Year season in 2011 and 12. She averaged a program best 21.2 points per game over the course of her career and also leads the record book in career rebounds per game at 10.1 and career blocks with 172. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it is so wonderful to begin the conversation with the members of the new Hall of Fame class, and how exciting for you to be a part of this. I would like to get started, Jaymee, if I could, with having you think back to what it felt like when you heard that you were being honored as a member of the Hall of Fame.
Well, I was very excited. I've been around a long time, so to be a part of something so important and so special at North Georgia, very blessed, very honored, very grateful. Many of the people in previous classes of the Hall of Fame I know, and to be put just in a group with them, it's some of the best to play here. It's very special.
When we talk about your playing career here in Dahlonega, the numbers are astounding. Averaging a double-double for your career, that's fairly impressive. Think back to your time on the court. How did you approach athletics, knowing that that was only a part of the experience as a college student, the combination of athletics and academics? How did you approach that?
I think something really important to me is just, and I can thank Coach Burson for this, along with many other things, but is to excel in every aspect that you are, not just on the court. You're not just here in North Georgia to be a great student athlete. You're here to excel in every area of your life. So, on the court, in your relationships, and everything that you do, just to strive for excellence. You're not perfect, but you do your best to, put your best foot forward in everything that you do.
The tradition, we talked about tradition in the introductory remarks tonight, and there is such a strong tradition of excellence in women's basketball here at North Georgia. What is it like knowing that you were such an integral part of that tradition?
It means everything to leave a lasting mark, during my playing career, but I think also my coaching career as well. When it actually really hit home to me this last banquet we had with our players. One of the girls, Julianne Sutton, she played here for 5 years, and she was graduating, and she was giving her speech, and she looked over, and she was like, "I remember the day that you called me to recruit me." And that kind of just to play a part in that, in my teammates' lives as a player, but then my players' lives as a coach, that North Georgia changed their life, and to be, a small part of that, just to leave a lasting mark, a positive one on the program. It means everything. It's a great program, and just with a great culture. To be a part of that is very special.
A tremendous culture. You made reference to Coach Burson. I'll ask you to go back to the process of getting to North Georgia. How did that all happen?
Yeah, well, I played at Wake Forest my freshman year, and I wanted to come closer to home, and I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what that looked like. And I remember my dad and I came up here. I went to camp here as a little kid every year, and I was like, I want to get back closer to home. And we came up here, didn't know what to expect. Was I going to go D1 and sit out a year? Where was I going to go? And we came up here, my dad and I left, and I was like, that seems right. That felt right, and it's felt like home ever since, and it was a great decision, but it just felt right when I left. I didn't know why, it just did.
And obviously it was a phenomenal setting for you to have such success on the court, in the classroom. You already segued for me to the transition that you made into the coaching ranks. Talk about that, if you would.
Well, I thought I was going to be a nurse. I was in some nursing classes, and I was sitting there one day, and I was like, No, I don't think so. I literally, you can ask Coach Preston, I got up one day, came in her office very abruptly, just walked in. I sat down, I was like, I want to coach. I was like, I don't know what that looks like. I think I was a junior, midway through my junior year in nursing. And I was like, I don't know what that looks like, but I want to coach. And she looked, she's like, we'll figure it out. And 10 years later, whatever it is, we figured it out. So
that's exciting. I know that you were able to draw on the successes that you had personally, collectively as a team during your time here at North Georgia as you transitioned into coaching. If you can look back and pinpoint one or two specific memories that you have that stand out above all the rest, what would they be?
Well, as a player, it's actually a little ironic. It was the game I tore my ACL as a player, but rewind right before the ACL tear. We were playing Georgia College, and it was the first time North Georgia had been ranked in near history. We were ranked. Georgia College was ranked. They had been good for a couple years, so it was kind of a big game. And as a team, we were like, well, let's see where we're at. Are we ranked? Are we good? And we went out and we jumped on Georgia College early by about 20, and they called a timeout. And that was pivotal. Even looking back through my coaching career, looking back probably 10 years later, that was a pivotal moment. North Georgia was ranked at the time. We jumped out on a ranked team, and I think that kind of turned the course for. It was a big game for where North Georgia was headed. But I think as a coach, it was very special. We made history twice. We go into the Elite Eight for the first time. We made history, and then we did it again 2 years later, going to the Final Four. And that's just a culmination of hard work. So much hard work, not just from coaches or players, but the athletic department and just the road paved by Lindsey Reeves and Mayrod Plunkett. They do everything with excellence. And so to be a part of that and just to draw some attention to that, for our team to have success and for it to shine, brightly on our athletic department, that they do such a good job for the student athletes.
What you just mentioned, I think, is so important from the standpoint of creating an atmosphere that will allow success to happen, and that's not found everywhere, and that's one of the tremendous hallmarks of this program here at North Georgia. Many people also would say that the success in athletics, the participation in athletics, the time management that comes with it, translates into life beyond athletics. And you have made another transition from coaching into the world of business. Have you been able to utilize the lessons learned from your time on the hardwood and as a coach in that new role?
Absolutely. There's so many lessons, being a student athlete, because there's so much thrown at you and there's so much demanded of you. But I think first and foremost, maybe just for me, is competitiveness, and in a good way, in a positive way. And that's just to excel in everything that you're doing, but also as a student athlete, just discipline and work ethic. As a student athlete, you have so much on your plate. You have to get up, and you have study hall, and you have class, and you have weights, and you have practice, and we throw a lot at them as coaches. So to be able to handle all of that, you have to be very disciplined. So to go into a different route, and whatever these student athletes do, they're very used to that. They manage their time, and they have to work hard because they want to excel in their craft and in the classroom, and that just continues over to life after athletics.
As we begin to wind up the visit, would ask for one final thought when you look back over the time that you've spent here at North Georgia, both as a player and as a coach.
That's tough. It's a very informal thought. But as I was thinking back on my time, something, and I don't think I've ever even shared it with anybody, something that was so special to me, and this happened several times, and that's why I'm mentioning it. When I would go, talk to other Peach Belt coaches or at recruiting events, and talking to region coaches, high school coaches, I've heard it, and it might have been worded differently each time, but they'd be like, "You're from North Georgia," and there's like, "Y'all got it going on over there." Everyone said that. Y'all do things right over there. I heard that time and time again. And that wasn't just our program, it was like the people I mentioned, our athletic department. It was Dr. Jacobs at the university level. They were like, y'all do things right there. And that was far past athletics. That was everything we do. And I just felt, you're looking back on that. At the time, you're like, yeah, thanks, okay. And then you look back and to be a part of that, or people look at North Georgia and they're like, wow, y'all do things the right way. Very grateful, very blessed, humbled to be a part of that, playing, coaching, to be here today. It's just, North Georgia does things right, and I'm very appreciative of everybody that plays a part in that.
And we are very appreciative of you and are so happy to have you as the first inductee in this new Hall of Fame class. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our first inductee, Jaymee Carnes Acton.